Halito, Chimachukma. This is Chief Steve coming at y'all again with another episode. This is just a continuation from our last video. From my understanding, we had some sound difficulties on the latter half, so I just want to come and bring this forward to you again. Shout out to Indigenous Copper Goddess for bringing this to my attention. I truly appreciate you, my Niji. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get on with that continuation. Alrighty, y'all, so we're back, and like I said, there are some hard truths out there, some negative things that are being portrayed and being popularized out there, and it's been going on for a while, and it's kind of like the same thing that's been going on out here as far as, you know, in certain areas and things, particularly in the South, and, you know, it's everywhere. But something that we as original people, as dark copper tone original people, indigenous people, what we go through, and which is it's the caste system, you know, and just like we go through it up here, they are going through it down there, and some can say they even have it worse than us because it's something that is encouraged in a lot of ways. And this brother right here is going to go ahead and share his personal experience about what he's dealt with as a dark melanated, copper-toned Mexicano, you know, trying to get the right terminology. If anybody knows, you know, because I know it's different terminologies and stuff, but we just going to say American Indians because they are indigenous to this land. All right. So without further ado, we're going to get into it.
When I was a little kid in Mexico and a new baby was born, if they were born dark, this is what I heard. Ay, está negrito, pobrecito. What is that saying?
Poor you.
Dang, that's tough luck for you. You have a dark-skinned baby. But whenever one of my little cousins was born light-skinned, ay, mira, está güerito como un angelito. What is that psychologically doing to you? Teaching you that what? To be like an angel, you have to be white. You have to be light-skinned. Whenever we see pictures of Jesus and angels, what color are they?
White.
White. Heaven is filled with white people. God and the angels are all white. When have you seen a black angel? Let's be honest. So what does that teach you psychologically? What does that teach you? That your God doesn't look like you. That the angels in heaven, in that beautiful place, don't look like you. You don't realize what this is doing to you here. When my cousins were born light-skinned, they were treated better, way better. Ay, mi güerizo, vente pa' acá. Because we're dark-skinned, we were kind of pushed to the side. Quítate pa' allá, pinche negro. It's because psychologically, we're taught heavenly and angelic, beautiful, worthy is all white. Everything that's worthless is dark. I hated myself so much growing up because I was dark. You know what I used to do to anger my mother? Because she was ashamed that she had a dark-skinned kid. She was dark too. My mom was dark. My father was dark. So all her kids were Indios like me. Because of that, all of the other cousins are light-skinned. So her siblings, because they married white people, they ended up having light-skinned kids. Dang, I ended up with all the ugly kids. So to piss her off, I took my shirt off and I stood in the sun to get darker because I knew it would piss her off. That's what I did. You see how ugly it is to be dark? She made me angry. So I'm going to take my shirt off. I'm going to get darker. Because when she sees me, she's going to say, ay, pinche negro, quítate del sol. Every time I was in the sun as a kid, she'd be like, get out the sun, you're getting darker. She did not want her kids to get darker. When I was in high school, some girls would walk by and look at me and say, oh, that dude is not a Mexican. He's a black-sican. Okay? If I look like this, I'm not Mexican. So what is a Mexican then? What is a Mexican supposed to look like?
White.
Right. Why does she think that a Mexican is supposed to look white? When you turn on Univision, what do you see?
White.
That is what is teaching us that is a Mexican. That represents Mexico and Mexicans. It's white people with blue eyes. You see? When you watch novelas, any TV show in Spanish, what color are they?
White.
In the background, you see some dark-skinned people. Servants. Basically slaves. Those are not considered Mexican. Growing up, you know what I heard? Mexicans say, él no es mexicano, él es un indio. You see what's going on here? You begin to feel what? Hateful. Perfect answer. And because you're worth nothing, it's easy for you to what? To not care. Why should you care? My mom, she was so hateful towards herself. She used to buy whitening cream. Cream that you put on your skin and it makes you lighter. She would bleach her hair blonde. She was desperately trying to look
white.
because this is a sin. This is bad. I had a mother who every time she talked to me, when she talked to me, it was spiteful. With so much anger. And I noticed a lot of time when she talked to my cousins who were light-skinned, she talked to them very kindly. What did that make me feel inside? I would never be able to be light-skinned, so I'm going to be a piece of crap for the rest of my life. That gave me the fuel to say, what am I even trying? My own mom thinks I'm ugly. I'm worthless. She thinks she's worthless. She thinks she's worthless so much that she's whitening her freaking skin and she's bleaching her hair because she doesn't want to look like this.
Yeah, like I said, who feels it knows it. There are some of us who have been through this exact thing, and there are some who've never experienced anything like this and probably experienced it on a lighter, way lighter level than what this is. But we know colorism in our community very well, whether they get on you because you're too dark or whether they get on you because you're too light. Whether you're on the darker spectrum or the lighter spectrum, sometimes you catch it either way, and you notice what this brother said. He said, because we Indios, said my mother was dark, my father was dark. He said, because we Indios, dark-skinned people, they call themselves Indios. What that sound like? Indians. So they know who they are. They know very much who they are out there. Not once did this brother say anything about being an Afro-Indigenous, Afro-Latino, Afro-anything. He knows who he is. His people know. Yet, they were taught to hate themselves. Just like our people are taught to hate themselves out here. So much to where they turn on their own. So much as where we turn on our own in some cases. So much to where they give themselves false labels and identities. Oh, I'm Hispanic. Same thing like how we say, oh, I'm African American. I'm Afro Latino. I'm black. We have to get rid of these misnomers and false labels and be proud of who we are. Period. We're not done though. We got more to come. Let's get into it.
We're a vast minority in this country, so that's why many people have never heard of us. They think we're from another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. But we are Mexicans, and it's only fair that they recognize us, that they value us as much as anyone else.
As the Black Lives Matter movement around the world seeks change and equality for Black Mexico, the challenge for these communities is still at the point of showing they exist.
We're going to run that back one more time with the volume up a little bit because I got a train coming through my way.
We're a vast minority in this country, so that's why many people have never heard of us. They think we're from another country. They don't consider you to be Mexican simply because you're black. But we are Mexicans, and it's only fair that they recognize us, that they value us as much as anyone else.
As the Black Lives Matter movement around the world seeks change and equality for Black Mexico, the challenge for these communities is still at the point of showing they exist.
So yeah, again, these misnomers, these false labels, they have them thinking that they're black. They have them thinking that they're not indigenous to that land, that they don't come from Mexico, that they're not true Mexicans, that they're not true Mexicas or Mexicanos. They making them feel like they don't belong there. It sounds a lot like how it is up here for a lot of us. But they are pushing to be recognized. They are pushing to be acknowledged. And one main thing that we have to do, all of us as American Indians, we have to get rid of these false labels. We have to get rid of them. We have to kill the misnomers. We got to kill them off. We have to kill off these false labels. We have to destroy these misnomers. They're keeping us in a box. And as long as they keep us in this box, they can move that box wherever they want. But when you recognize your true identity and you recognize who you are to this land, that's the only way that you can truly be acknowledged. By acknowledging yourself for who you truly are, first and foremost. Just like they call us African Americans, Afro Americans, they're calling them African Mexicans, Afro Mexicans. They're doing everything in their power to take away their power, to stop them from being acknowledged and recognized as the people of the land. And then we'll show you a pale-faced, blue-eyed actor on television and say that's what a true person of this land look like. They do the same thing out here. That's what I mean. Who feels it knows it. That's what I mean. A lot of us going through the same things. Some worse than others. But we all moving in the same way. We are pushing for recognition. We just have to do it a better way. By recognizing and acknowledging the truth. All right, so I got one more clip for y'all and we're going to wrap it up.
When I was learning who I was so excited to know pretty much where I come from. That, hey man, listen, this whole time we thought we were Mexicans, and although technically we are, there's something deeper to just being Mexican. So when I was learning the history, I remember I thought that if I shared it with my mom, I would perhaps awaken something in her and perhaps also help her develop pride in that. So one day, I sat with her and I said, hey mom, I was doing some research and I was finding out that we people from where we're from, we were known as Chichimeca. And she looks at me and she says, huh? It's like, yeah, we spoke an indigenous language and we're indigenous people, mom. And she says, no, we're not. I said, mom, what do you mean? We're indigenous people. And she says, ¿estás pendejo? I said, then what are we, mom? And she says, somos mexicanos. Like, yeah, I know, but ethnically, we're Mexicans because we're born there. Sure, I got you. But ethnically, what are we? And she's so puzzled. Somos mexicanos, mijo. Yeah, mom, but that's our nationality. We're just born in Mexico, sure. But ethnically, mom, what are we? She looks at me, she says, no sé, pero no somos pinches indios. And that's when I realized, you see, it's worked. The plan and the efforts of the colonizer have worked. We are ashamed to be what we're supposed to be. Or more accurately, we were taught to be ashamed of our origins. So now we have a bunch of people talking about, yo no soy un pinche indio. And then we refer to people of Oaxaca, Oaxaquita. See, all these things begin to make sense to me. Everything begins to make sense. Now, me thinking back on when I was a kid and my dad used to call her pinche Oaxaquita fea. Now I was like, I get it. So now that I bring forth this piece of knowledge, piece of information to my mom, we're indigenous people. All she probably, her trauma told her, is my son trying to tell me that we're those Oaxaquitas? So it makes complete sense why we are the way that we are. And not just the self-shame aspect of it. Not only are we taught to feel ashamed of who we are, so we're over here talking about, somos de España and stuff like that, right? But worse is we also have these people trying to throw terminologies at us, talking about Latino, Hispanic. Notice how everything they throw at us identifies us as people of Europe. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that the systemic effort is to do their best to try to identify us as if we're people of Europe? How come they never try to umbrella us all as indigenous people? If you must umbrella us all, why is it always the umbrella of the identity that belongs to Europeans? Why are we never umbrellaed under the identity of indigenous people?
Boom, y'all. He hit it right on the head. Why can't they just call us all indigenous people? That's because if they acknowledge us as indigenous people, they will truly acknowledge the fact that those that they want to keep down are the ones who has inherited everything that they want, that they've stolen. They don't want us to have what we have naturally been given. And you already know why. And you know who they are. And it's not everybody. It's a chosen few who push these policies, who push these different narratives, who push these different theories that keep us from our true identity. But now in this new age of information we have come into, we are here and we are acknowledging who we truly are. We've always been here. And one thing that he said, like the last brother said, Indios. They know that they are Indian. They know that they are American Indian. They know that they are indigenous people. But the trauma of self-hatred has developed over the generations and have caused an erasure. But we have the pen. We've always had the pen, that creative mind. And so now it's time to rewrite our story, our true story, in the way it ought to be told. So I commend this brother right here, Ricardo Ignacio. I appreciate you, bro, for standing on your truth, standing on the truth, standing on business, and doing your part for your people out there. Just like everyone who's tuning in, including myself, are doing for our people. Spreading information, spreading the knowledge, getting it out there. That's what it's all about. It's time to reawaken our people. It's time to come out of this dream state, this nightmare of amnesia, of not knowing who we are. And it's time to stand in the truth. All right. So salute to all of those who have contributed to this video, the different TikToks, clips. And again, like this video, share this video, share. We need to get this information out there. Let it be known that we are who we are. And we stand with our brothers and sisters out there in Mexico. This is very much their land as it is ours. They are indigenous to this land. The real ones know. All right? Let's stop the hate. Let's stop the division. And let's stand on business. Let's bring paperwork to the desk. Let's put it all on the table. And let's really see who is like us and who's not like us. All right? Let's bring oral tradition back forward. Let's bring these things into fruition. Let's manifest our true identity. And let's stand on that. Then you'll know who's real from the fake, from the pretenders. All right? So I stand with my brothers and sisters down south, our cousins, our uncles, our aunties. All right? Because a lot of us, we got those specific genes down there in us, We all family. Those who know, know. All right? So I'm gonna stop holding y'all up. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Tata Kista, I cherish you all. All of my brothers and sisters. All spectrums, from the lightest copper to the darkest copper. Those who truly know who they are in this land. I cherish you from the bottom of my heart. All right? Yo, Koki, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.